Start your engines. You are now in the inside groove.
What is up, Team Boutique Fantasy NASCAR fans? It's your boy Jamie Maddy, aka Maddy Machine Gun. You can follow me on Twitter at Maddy Machine Gun, or you can follow the boutique at DFS Boutique. And I'm here to break down the Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, recap on some Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 lineups, and get you ready and prepped for your DFS contests this weekend. So let's get right into it, guys. So kind of quickly recapping on the quick Folds of Honor last week, right? So can you say freaky fast? I mean, that pretty much just sums up Kevin Harvick as a whole. He went out and bashed the field and lived up to his nickname around here as the Bakersfield Basher. Towards those end of those 500 miles, I kind of thought those offsetting pit strategies and games that the other dudes were playing might come up to bite Harvick, like Hamlin. He was looking good, and so was the big Keselowski Brad. I really thought they might have had the chance of stealing it away, but, you know, Harvick pulled through at the end. And speaking of at the end, talk about a classy victory lap. I mean, arms outstretched, just like 17 years before that, making his way to victory lane, honoring the great late legend Dylan Hart. I mean, I grew up an Earnhardt fan. I've been a NASCAR fan almost my entire life, as long as I can remember. And I was a teenager in 2001 when Earnhardt died. I remember the Atlanta race 3 weeks later. It was a big deal. It was definitely serendipitous and just an overall pretty cool NASCAR moment. You get what I mean if you're a true NASCAR fan. So congrats to Kevin Harvick. Congrats to Stewart Hot Racing. And way to knock it out. Let's break down these Atlanta lineups real quick. So looking at my Atlanta DFS lineups, right? Sorry, my kids are obnoxious, and the babysitter is doing a shitty job. So that being said, yay. Maybe I should ask for a refund, right? I had a lineup in the $4 single entry brake pad, finished 17th of 5,200, put up a 372 score. Was in a $12 single entry, finished 199th of 1,960 lineups or people, and that score was like 352.25. Was in the $50 single entry, finished 71st of 409, cash there, 345 score, and my one lineup in the 150 lead lap 3 entry max finished 60th. It had Jimmy Johnson as a Blaney Chase kind of leverage fade pivot, and it missed cash by 13 points, even with Jimmy. So, you know, you can't really complain there. And a couple of my lineups in the 33 75K pit stop finished 62nd with a 363 score and 435th with a 338.5 of 2,600 lineups. So, you know, that was a nice ROI there on those two lineups, and you can't complain at all, right? So let's break down some of this logic on a couple of these lineups real quick, and then we'll talk about Las Vegas and the Pennzoil 400 for a minute. I had Harvick, Truex, Hamlin, Boyer, Dillon, and Reagan, right? So Truex kind of took away the need for a third dominator. So, I mean, I guess in theory, if you wanted to look at it that way, but I ran him his place different. Harvick and Hamlin as two dominators, and I ran Clint as a fringe dominator. It placed diff, a little bit of both, starting where he started. I do believe it was like 9th or 10th, and he had great speed. Harvick was mean looking in practice. So was Kurt. So was Clint. So it was like, okay, those Fords are going to look great in that dense air that rain is producing, that cold, dense air. I mean, people always talk about how the Fords fall off during the summers because the mixture of air and the burn in the cylinders of the motor is less dense when the air is warm. When it's cold, Fords have more power because of the more dense air. It's not, you would think it's common knowledge, but some people don't know that, right? So if I could do anything different in this lineup, I would probably have gone down to Witt, from Reagan and up to Austin Dillon. I can't remember what the salary cap was. If I had the room, I'm not sure if I did. I would have went up to Dillon and left Reagan. But, next time, right? And first place only had like 9 points on me in that tournament. 75K pit stop, I had the two lineups in there, 363 and a 338 for 62nd place finish and a 435th place finish. The 62nd place line had, the Truex Harvick stack. I went a little further back on place diff. I played Blaney and Reagan. Rem Boyer as my second dominator, and I played Paul Menard as a leverage CGP play, fading, like Dylan and a few other dudes in that price category, right? That price tier. And I also knew that people would be scared to run Menard. He was showing great time. It kind of didn't. It worked out. It was working out great till partly about the second segment, and he had a car issue, got a lap down, then he ended up having a tire start to go down, and he got another lap down, gained a lap back. But before that, he was stuck in the top 10, running on the lead lap, just waiting for his moment. I was looking good. I was really happy about my write-up and my pick and him and my GGP picks. But, it didn't work out for me this time and the people that played him. But I knew that, he would have okay ownership, but 16% kind of saved me there, if you get what I mean. Moving on, if I could do anything different, I probably would have put Austin Dillon in that lineup, or maybe even went down to Witt and got Kurt Busch if I could. But anyways, so if you are playing the Pennzoil 400 this weekend, let's break that down. My notes. So Martin Truex was a 2017 winner, right? He led 150 to 267 laps. He won all three stages. The Martin Truex thing on 1.5 mile ovals is real. Don't sleep on it. The Vegas track is a 1.5 mile oval. There will be 267 laps this race, which will total up to 405 miles. There will be 207.5 Dominator points up for snags for those guys up front leading laps and gobbling up fastest lap bonus points. 8 of the 21 Las Vegas races have been won from the top 5 starting spots, so bear that in mind and write it down in your notes for your research as the race weekend proceeds on Friday. Keep an eye out who's in around that area. 37 teams are entered to run. There's 40 spots. All the teams will start. On an average, we've seen 2 to 4 dominators over the last 5 years. So, build your rosters according to that. Las Vegas is a 1.5 mile oval. Like I mentioned, it has variable banking in the turns, which kind of makes for closer racing, so to say. Handling aerodynamics will be so important here. I mean, such a super huge deal because the tire wear is less, the surface is less abrasive, and expect to see more cautions than we did last week at Atlanta. Atlanta was pretty clean. Not a lot of tires went down, which was really out of character for that track, right? When you are doing your lineups this weekend, or you're doing your research this week, going into this weekend, don't be afraid to look at comparable tracks for your numbers. You can look at Kentucky, you can look at Chicagoland, you can look at Kansas, you can even look at some outlier tracks that are 1.5 mile ovals but aren't maybe configured in this exact same shape. But you can look there, and that would maybe be a Charlotte and a Texas. But you're going to want to look at percentages ran in the top 15, quality passes, driver rating kind of covers it all. Your boutique banger for this weekend is drivers participated in test sessions at Las Vegas Motor Speedway from January 31st to February 1st for Goodyear. It was Keselowski, Larson, Menard, Drew Herring, which was the Toyota Racing tester, Buescher, Kurt Busch, William Byron for HMS, Cole Cluster for Go Fast, and even Ty Dillon was out there for Germain. So keep those names in mind when you're rolling into this weekend and qualifying's happening and you're watching final practice after that, and you're comparing your lap times and your 10-lap averages, and keep an eye out for those guys because they may have learned something in this test session that other teams aren't privy to, or whatever, or it could just be nothing. So, but just bear it in mind, right? Let me stop real quick before I get into these GGP and roster construction stuff. If you're not a member of my NASCAR DFS Premium Cup package, I strongly suggest you check it out, right? So even if you're a veteran player or a new DFS or Fantasy NASCAR player that tried it out on the All-Star break for NBA this year and you got hooked, you like the smell of rubber and burning octane, so check us out. You'll get all the exclusive stuff like my NASCAR DFS cheat sheets that come out weekly, my study sheets that have all the consolidated loop data that make it tangible for you to take down a GGP where you find those great plays, my weekly driver write-up that is about an average of 2,000 words to 2,600 words, excuse me. And this week's or Atlanta's write-up was 2,600 words, which is pretty awesome, right? You get access to my custom projections, the Team Boutique projections. You also get to chat it up in the Team Boutique NASCAR Premium Slack channels where you get all the consultation you need to tailor your game like a winner. So that's what we do at the DFS. We tailor games to be profitable winners over time. We teach you. We're not about just giving you the cheat sheets and the info and send you on your way. We want you to know how to win. We make winners. DFSboutique.com. Okay, so on to cash roster constructions. You're going to want to look at 1 to 2 dominator target drivers, depending on how qualifying shakes out, but you're going to want to focus on play stiff and cash if you only target one dominator. So don't miss, right? I kind of like that. GGP roster constructions, 2 dominator target drivers to 3 dominator target drivers. Don't forget that we've seen 2 to 4 on average over the last 5 seasons. If you are running a max entering and multi-entry GGP like the $4 or the $3, whatever it is, or if you're a big baller and you're doing the 10 or the 33, whatever you're doing, don't forget to vary up your dominator groups. If you don't understand what I'm saying, because you don't do that very often, what I mean by is, like, for example, if you look at Brad Keselowski's numbers for the last 5 Las Vegas races, he's ran 94.4 of his laps in the top 15. He's got an average finish of 3rd and an average start of 3rd, right? Average running position of 5. It's at over 180 laps. His driver rating is 121. So obviously, if he's starting somewhere up near the front, you're going to want to target him for a dominator, right? So if, let's say, like a Kyle Busch gets the outside pole, right? He's ran 88% of the laps in the top 15. If you're in the premium NASCAR package, right? He's got an average starting position of 16th and some great positive place differential, finishing 10th on average over the last 5 seasons. His driver rating of 106 is the 4th best over the last 5 years. It's at 117 laps. So if you vary your groups is what I'm getting at, right? So you'll have your rowdies and your brads and your Truex and your rowdies if you're multi-entering. But if you're a single entry player, or you're a baller on the budget like most of us because you're not a shark per se, choose your dominators wisely, guys. All right, good luck. We'll see you at the track this weekend. Let's make the most of it, right? Go Team Boutique.